Our friend David Pakman from the David Pakman Show covered the recent big immigration news. Let's listen.
We're being overrun by Mexicans. It's a common refrain from the anti-immigrant right in the United States. Of course, it's laced not only with xenophobia, but it also appears to be flatly untrue. This is what I mean. A study that was just recently published by the Pew Research Center says that more Mexicans are leaving the United States than coming into the United States. This is a reversal of a huge immigration trend. Why are so many Mexicans going back to Mexico? Well, it seems to be a combination of a desire to reunite with family, combined with a not particularly thrilling economic recovery in the United States, at least with regard to wages and in certain sectors. Pew Research Center found that slightly more than 1 million Mexicans and their families, including their American-born children, left the U.S. to go to Mexico from 2009 to 2014. During that same time, 870,000 Mexicans came into the U.S. This is a net outflow to Mexico of Mexicans of around 130,000 individuals. This runs completely counter, Lewis, to the narrative of this out-of-control border where it's just Mexicans coming in and leeching off of services and taking all of our jobs. Actually, the 5-year period from 2009 to 14 saw an outflow of nearly 150,000 Mexicans. Not really the story we're getting from the Republicans, is it?
I cannot get enough of this story. We briefly touched on it last week at some point, but isn't that incredible? In a world that made sense, wouldn't the right be praising Obama for this? Because this is what they say. This is their position. That, we don't want to let anybody in over the border now, so what we going to do, we should build a wall and then deport people and whatnot, and that'd be best for America. And here you have a story where there's, in large numbers, you have Mexicans leaving the U.S. And what are the Republicans doing? Were we supposed to say something about immigration? Yeah, where's your praise? Where's Sean Hannity's big, well, credit to President Obama on one thing, one thing where apparently it was right under his administration. That sounds nothing like Hannity, right? Is it just, I don't know how to do a Hannity impression. I don't know how to be a smarmy, ridiculous douche. Yes, I do, but not in the Hannity style. Okay, this is just like what happened on taxes. So Obama in his first term does at least a dozen small business tax cuts, and he makes about 90% of the Bush tax cuts permanent. And what does the right say? Socialist! Socialist taking everybody's money, raising taxes and whatnot. What is a socialist? He might be a communist, Marxist, Maoist, something. I don't know. He's black, so I'm just going to blame him and throw words at him and stuff. Okay, but that's not true. He did a lot of the things that you guys wanted him to do, and got nothing to say. Healthcare. An individual mandate system was first proposed by Richard Nixon, Republican. Then later on, it was the Heritage Foundation and other right-wing think tanks that released policy proposals in the early 90s saying, this is what we want as a counter to the Democratic plan, which is single payer, which is Medicare for all. We don't like that. We want a free market solution, so individual mandate. Okay, well, that was a right-wing plan. Newt Gingrich supported it. Chuck Grassley supported it. Fast forward, Obama proposes that. That is Obamacare. Like, we hate it. Socialism. You supported it. You supported it like 43 minutes ago. Now you're against it? Because anything he's for, they're against. That's the way this works. They don't care about the policy substance. They never did. They are simply playing politics. The deficit, President Obama took the deficit from Bush. He inherited a $1.4 trillion deficit. What's it now? $480 billion. Now, you're allowed to say that you still want it to be less. That's fine. But at least be honest and accurate and say he did cut it tremendously from what it was under Bush, but you don't do that. Or how about private sector job growth? Obama's created many millions upon millions of private sector jobs, over 12 million private sector jobs. And he's cut government jobs. Again, exactly what the right says they love. Bupkis, no credit whatsoever for Obama when he does what they say. Never mind things that piss off progressives big time, like the NSA spying and drones and whatnot. All this time, he's been doing that to one extent or another, and they're like, oh, Did we say that we liked drones under Bush? Well, we hate them now under Obama. Actually, that's not true. We found one area where they are consistent. They don't mention the drones because secretly they always agree on blowing up Muslims.